this is my cash stuffing journey. If you're new here, thank you so much for taking a chance and clicking on my video. I hope you decide to like, subscribe and stick around for a while. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your ongoing support. So today is going to be step 2 in my budget bootcamp, which is financial goals. What are your financial goals? What are you saving for? What's a high priority goal? What's a low priority goal? I'm going to go through all of that today. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill out my goal sheet. If you would like a copy of this, same as the other one, just reach out through, it can be through Instagram, it can be through my Etsy store, and I will email this to you, no charge. Eventually it will be in my budget bootcamp binder that will come with all of these sheets, tips, tricks, and then I'm hoping to have like a monthly calendar and weekly, fortnightly or monthly budgeting sheets, and all of that kind of stuff. So this is a very long process, but we're going to get to step 2 now. So we've gone through our budget, we've looked at 3 months worth of financial statements. I would show you the form, but I was on the phone to a house team leader for one of my clients. I grabbed the first piece of paper I could so I could scratch in my notes, so I wouldn't forget, and I could make sure I had all the information for my case note. And then I had a look at what I'd actually written on, and it was on the bottom, so it was like down here of my monthly financial sheet. So I can't show that now because it's got confidential information on it, but I'm gonna redo it, but I haven't had a chance to redo it for today. So financial goals. Now they can be what you're aiming for. What are you saving for? What are you budgeting for? It could be something like a high priority. So with high priority goals, it is things that you are saving for, and it could be saving things for right now, or it can be a long-term goal, but one that's really, really important to you. So for me, a high priority goal for me is a deposit for a home. It's if I could stuff nothing else and I only had, say, $200, that is where it would go. That's where it would go. A lot of my savings challenges are aimed at going towards that goal as well, and that's just what I'm really, really focusing on. Other high priority goals for me are things like saving for my kids and saving for things for us to do as a family, for us to have experiences. Now, what's a low priority goal? It's something that you know you have to save for, but it's not urgent, it's not a priority for you. So if you don't have the money that pay cycle, if you don't stuff money in it, it's not too bad. It could be something long term. So for example, it could be if you're a 20-year-old saving for your retirement. So from 20 onwards, you could be saving for your retirement. Now that doesn't mean that goals can't shift. So for example, with that retirement as an example, say you start saving from 20 years old to 40 years old, you're like, okay, that's a low priority goal. From 40 to 60, that's going to be a high priority goal because you're getting closer and closer to retirement age. In Australia, retirement age is 65. And so that's that kind of goal. So goals can shift. They can be high priority at one point, then they can shift to low priority. It's really up to you and your circumstances. Now, a short-term financial goal would be something that you need to raise quickly. I would probably say within a 12-month period. A long-term goal would be more than 12 months. So for me, registration every year, I consider that a long-term goal because it's ongoing, but then it's also a short-term goal because I have to have the money together every year. Things like my savings for my kids is $500 a year. So yes, it's a high priority, but it's kind of an ongoing thing. So they can either be short-term or long-term priority or low priority. I mean high priority or low priority. So they're all a bit confusing, but I do have a really good glossary section in my budget binder that's coming, and I might just put like the meanings at the end of this video if you're still a bit confused. But to quickly summarize, a high priority financial goal is something that is a really big focus for you on your budgeting journey. A low priority is something that you want to save for, but it's okay if it takes however long it takes. A short-term goal is something that you are saving for, I would say, within a 12-month period. A long-term goal would be something that is going to be over 12 months. So it could be like a house deposit, it could be retirement, it could be a new car. It could also be something that you are saving for the future. So for example, I already have a car, it's through my work, and that's fine. I pay money on that every fortnight. But eventually, when that contract runs up, I'm going to have to decide, do I want to buy a new car? Do I want to buy this car? Do I want to return this car and get a new one? So I have already started a long-term, low-priority goal of saving a deposit for a new car in case that's what I want to do in the future. If I don't, that's great. I'm going to have money left over and I can reallocate that. But that's kind of an example of the goals of how I work them. So for my what I'm going to do is I've created this budget bootcamp sheet. So financial goals, so we've got the financial goal, the amount, the date I want that amount, and then the amount of money per pay cycle that I'm going to have to pay to reach that goal in that time frame. So we always know what my high priority goal is. So we've got a house deposit is always at the moment is my number one goal. We need to get it as quickly as possible, and for that we need 30k. And I'm hoping with everything in me that we are going to be in our new home. I'm going to say July of next year. I was hoping for Christmas, but I'm saying July just in case something goes wrong, if it takes us a bit longer to get pre-approval and things like that. So I'm going to guess, yeah, July. So what are we in now? So we'll go March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So we are looking at, what's that? We're already at, oh geez, hang on, March, April, May, June, March, April, May, June, July. So 17 months we're looking at, which will be for me 34 cycles. So 34. Now we already have 3,600 saved, so 30 minus 3,600, so 26,400. Now we divide that by 34 pays, so $776 per pay. That's not going to happen. We're not doing that right now. Right now we're doing 200 a fortnight, but at the same time we are paying off debt and getting rid of all of that. On top of that, at tax time we are going to put a large chunk in, so that will kind of hopefully fill in the gaps. We are utilizing the First Home Super Saver scheme. So if you are in Australia, you can voluntarily contribute money to your superannuation fund, $15,000 per financial year, so from June to June, and then you can withdraw that voluntary contribution and its earnings, so it's earning interest while it's in there, so you can withdraw that and the interest earned on that money up to $50,000. So that's what our aim is. Our aim is to get 15,000 in this financial year and 15,000 next financial year, and combine that, and that's our 30,000. We're also gonna have this also includes like a buffer. We were told we'd only need 25, but that's got a $5,000 buffer in it, and we're hoping to have a $5,000 emergency fund. But yeah, so that's how we're gonna fill out that. So that's our first goal. So our second goal is going to be William, and I want $500. I want it per annum, and I want to have that by December. So $500 divided by 26 pays. So we need to be putting in $20 per pay cycle for William for us to reach that goal. So Evelyn will be the same. So she's $20. So that means each of them is going to get $500 each year into their savings account. I do have binders for them, so I will deposit the money into the account, and then I will use prop notes in their binders, or depending on what I'm saving for, it might just go in cash. And then finally, emergency fund. This is outside of the home deposit fund, and I want $500 for that. Eventually I would like to be saving $1,000 a year, but at the moment $500 is what I can do. And that one is also December per year, and that's $20. So at the moment, with previously what I was cash stuffing, the emergency fund was going to make it, but Evelyn and William was not, because I was only cash stuffing $5 a week. So that's something that we're going to have to look at when we redo all of our budget. So that's that is our high priority goals. Okay, so for low priority, let me have a look at my binders. See, I think I would like to put in weekend away. See, I also in this high, and this is how complicated that financial goals can be. I have high priority like set goals, but then I also have high priority flexible goals. Things like the can we envelope, so that we can engage in things in the community, like go get ice cream or whatever. I've got health, I've got like car. So like those are all really important to me, but they're not an ongoing thing. It's just like when the money's there, it's there. So I think I'm gonna put weekend away is also pretty. So weekend away, and that one doesn't really have an amount. Although, well, now that I think about it, we usually spend on average $1,500, and then we usually go away once per year, and it's usually around July or January. No, because we usually go away twice, so that's twice per year. So I might change that to 3,000, and then I might go in here, I'm gonna go July and then December, so 3,000. So that one needs $115. Now this one here, I predominantly cash stuff with savings challenges. That's where the money for that one comes. I do $20 a fortnight, so that will save me $500 a year, and then I heavily rely on savings charges to fund that envelope. So in all honesty, we might have to reevaluate this one, because $115 a fortnight, that's a lot of money. It is. And that's to do 2 experiences a year. But it's something we'll have to look at. And then, what else are we getting? So car maintenance, and then car rego and insurance. So that's 5. So that one's about $1,500. And then that is due in July every year. So that one needs $57. So see what I mean about how your financial goals can really impact your budget? Because I'm going to have to reassess some of these goals, because there's no way that I can pay, well, just with those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just with those 6 goals, that's $1,000 a fortnight. So just to meet those few goals, I'm gonna have to put aside $1,000 a fortnight, and I think I'm gonna just put aside $750. So when we're making our budget, we're gonna have to either adjust our financial goals to suit, or we're gonna have to adjust our budget to fit in, to make sure that these are a focus. And that's why it's really important to kind of sit down and really think about the logistics of your financial goals and making them realistic. Like, for example, there is no point in you wanting a $50,000 savings fund at the end of the year and you only bring in $25,000 in income. It's not realistic. It's not going to happen. And then you're going to beat yourself up because you didn't get it done. So yes, I would love to be able to save $1,000 a fortnight in my savings and my financial goals, but that's not going to happen. It's just not. There's not enough. So I'm going to have to adjust these goals, adjust my budget, and adjust my way of thinking to meet these goals, or to meet goals that I'm happy with. So, for example, it might be dropping the William and Evelyn's to $250 for now, or a year, because that will drop that in half. That's $10 a fortnight. I'm already meeting that now. So the emergency fund, drop it to $250. And I'm already exceeding that. So that's why it's really important to go through your goals, make them achievable on your budget with how much money you earn. And then once you sit down and create your budget, then come back to this form and figure out what you need to shuffle around to make it work. And that's what I mean about in my last video, when I said about making the cash stuffing system work for you, not you working for it. Now, previously, when I had very first started this journey, I would have seen that 100,000 and said, right, that's what I need to cash stuff. So I'm going to take that out of the grocery money. I'm going to take that out of the electricity bill. I'm going to take that out of the rent, whatever. And then I'd meet that $1,000 goal every fortnight. But then halfway through that fortnight, I'd be like, well, crap, we've got no groceries. So I'm going to have to dip into the emergency fund to pull money out. Or there's $100 sitting in William and Evelyn's account. It's going to have to come from there. And then I would turn around and beat myself up because I had just taken money out of my envelopes. Whereas now that I'm a bit more experienced, I've been doing this for a while, and I made the system work with my budget, I can recognize that that is not achievable on my budget. So say, for example, I know that I can comfortably cash stuff $750 a fortnight. Now, I basically split that in half, and half will go into my savings challenges, just because they're what keep me motivated and engaged. And then whatever's left, I'm going to have to split that between all of my financial goals. And then that's just the way the budget is. That's just how it works. And then at the end of that fortnight, I'm not pulling out money every fortnight, and it is actually building funds. And then I know that if worse comes to worse, if there's an emergency and I've only got $200, $250 sitting in my emergency fund, that I've got a wide range of envelopes in an emergency that I can pull from, because it's actually been building. It hasn't been getting money taken out every fortnight. So that's why it's so important to go through your budget goals. So when we come back to this section where we do our budget, this sheet will come back out. So I think for this year, these are going to be my goals. I would love to be able to put like spending money and self-care and all of that kind of stuff, but when you strip my budget back to its bare bones, the house deposit, William, Evelyn, and the emergency fund are my high priority, and my low priorities is a weekend away and car maintenance, rego, and insurance. Because if we are not able to utilize the car, that's going to impact us greatly. Now this is for Les's car, not mine. Because mine's through work, they cover all of the maintenance and fuel and all of that. So this is just Les's car. So when I'm traveling for work and I leave at 6 a.m. and I don't get back until 6 p.m, he's got a way to like get the kids to the store. He's got a way to drop William off at school and pick him up. If there's an emergency, he's able to get himself and the kids where he needs to go. And then the weekend away. When you start this journey, you have to be really, really honest with yourself and really strict. And that strict budgeting can very quickly lead to what I call budget burnout. I don't know if anyone else has experienced it, or I don't know if there's a name for it, but I call it budget burnout. And it's basically, it's just like with your job. When your job puts demand on demand on demand on demand onto you, and I've experienced burnout, and it's not a good feeling. You lose all motivation. You lose all interest. You don't care. You're just going through the motions day to day. And for me, that leads to impulsive spending, because I'm like, what is the point? What's the point of sacrificing that chocolate and sacrificing that lunch out and sacrificing the going to the movies when it's literally just sitting there in a binder? Because I forget, or I become oblivious to the long term, because I get that tunnel vision, because it's just sacrifice after sacrifice after sacrifice. This weekend away is my reward. So you need to give yourself rewards along the way to keep you motivated and to allow you to realize that what you're doing is part of a bigger picture. So for example, before cash stuffing, we couldn't go away. Never. Because there was no money. We were living paycheck to paycheck, and even then it wasn't enough. Because of cash stuffing, I realized that going away is important to us. So I deliberately save for it. And that means that every roughly January and July, we can go away for a weekend. We can go and engage with owls, because they're my husband's favorite bird. We can go and see a Ramses tour. We can go and see Jurassic World. We can... What else did we do? I'm trying to think. Like, we can go and see a Lego exhibit, which is what we're doing in April. I mean, it's in our town, but still, like, I had the money in our account to purchase the tickets, and we could never do that before. So, like, it's a reward as a family for all of the sacrifices we're making. The same with my self-care and my beauty fund. It's exactly the same. Those things are important to me. So I make sure that I have money there, so that if there's a new makeup launch that I like, I can purchase it. And being in Australia, makeup is often a lot more expensive here than it is overseas. So for example, like if an influencer I like from TikTok, which I don't really have any of those at the moment, but if she did a collaboration and the palette is $35 in the US, you can guarantee it's going to be $60, $65 here. So I have the money there that I can buy it. Or for example, say my eyebrow pencil, I finish it, I have the money to go just go out and buy one. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to feel guilty about it because it's there. You've got to make sure that you are saving your rewards, because if you don't, you are going to get budget burnout and you are going to impulsive spend, or you're going to lose touch with your financial goals and the long-term picture. And then at the end of it, you are going to be left in a dumpster fire of either having no money, debt, and all of that kind of stuff, and then you're going to have to start again. Now, listen to me. Just the fact that you're on this journey proves that you have the guts and the fortitude to look at your budget with honest eyes and look at your spending habits and to take those steps to get to where you want to be. Now, if that happens, if you get budget burnout and if you go through all of your money, you are strong enough to start again because you've already done it once. All you need to do is you need to dust yourself off. Give yourself forgiveness. We are human beings. We make mistakes. And changing a toxic relationship with money is so hard because it's like any addiction. You spend for reasons, whether it be to make yourself feel better, to meet your expectations, to meet goals, whatever the case may be. It is like an addiction. And if you grew up in a household with a healthy relationship with money, kudos to you and your parents. If you grew up in a household where money was kind of toxic, like my own, because I saw my parents scrimp and save and there was never enough. So when I got a job, like a well-paying job when I was out of the house, because when I was living with my parents, I was helping towards the household, which also kind of shaped my childhood because I was working 3 days a week. And unlike my friends who could go out and go to the movies or go out and buy clothes, I couldn't. I was helping to pay bills and put food on the table. And that it colored my childhood. And then when I got older and I got a good paying job, I went through and I went nuts. And I just wasted so much money and got into so much debt. And it makes it really tough to change that relationship. It's a full-on changing your mindset. And I also have like mental health issues on top of all that, which just makes it worse. So my spending habits got really bad. On top of that, giving gifts is my love language. So like I have so many things that I have to work through every day to make sure that I have the ability to meet my financial goals. Do I make mistakes? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do I kind of kick myself in the butt and get down on myself? Absolutely. Should I? No. The money is there to be spent. If it's spent in a way that you didn't intend, it's okay. Dust yourself off, get back up, and start again. Reevaluate what you've got, what you need to be, and start again. You've already done it once. You can do it again, and you will keep doing it until you get to your goal, until you are able to change that mindset. And I know it's hard, and I know it can be tiring, but you are not alone. The whole community is here. Reach out to any of us. I am very sure that every single person would respond. If you need motivation, if you need someone to sound ideas off, if you need help with getting your financial goals, just reach out. We're all here. And you're strong enough. And like I always say, it's about consistency. Being consistent over perfection. Or persistent over perfection. It's being persistent and consistent that matters. If you keep brushing yourself off, if you keep consistently adding to your funds, you will get there. Might take you a while, and you might have taken the scenic route, but you'll get there. I promise you, you will get there. So that was a very long tangent. So I want you to sound off down in the comments, what are your financial goals for this year or next year or even long term? I would love to hear them. So we are going to leave that here for now because I'm already at $1,000, which is I'm not going to be able to do that. But then later on, I can show you how I'm going to adjust these goals to fit that. So we are going to leave it there for now. Remember to live, laugh, love. And when life gets hard, just roll it in glitter. Bye, guys.